powerful forward thrust. I have the honor and distinct pleasure to introduce the mayor-elect, Brandon Johnson. And as I was thinking about how to do that, I wanted to tie the hopes of the past that we celebrated when Harold Washington was elected to the hopes of the future as we elected a new mayor in Brandon Johnson. And I thought of two quotes. The first quote from Harold Washington was, "If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there." And I think that's appropriate because we know where we're going. I think the other important quote was, "Business as usual will not be accepted by this chief executive of this great city." And I believe that we have a new chief executive of this great city, Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson, who embarks on this new path with us. A path that sees all people, values all people, and uplifts our communities. And I don't know if he is in the building at the moment. I'm supposed to talk for 2 minutes. And my colleagues who are sitting there know that I am not someone who likes to do that and can do that. So let me tell you a story. And I don't know one. I just want to acknowledge my colleagues, because this was not easy getting this to the finish line.
Come on.
It took a long time. He's here. So without further ado, I introduce to you the mayor-elect of this city of Chicago, Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson.
Chicago is here. Please be seated. Thank you so much. It is truly my honor and my privilege to serve in a couple of weeks as the 57th mayor of the city of Chicago. And so many different moments and so much work has brought the city of Chicago together. And there has been no better form of organizing than what is on display on this stage. And these miraculous individuals who have made history to unite our city around values that we were raised on. Doesn't it feel good to be raised on some good, strong values? And so the type of leadership that is needed at the very local level to make sure that public safety is a broader conversation than what we have been having for too long in this country. A short-sighted conversation about how we bring real public safety to the people and to the communities of this city. And now we have a governing body that speaks to the very best of our values. That democracy, particularly in a place like Chicago, can not only prevail, but it can lead us towards a more just, equitable society. So again, congratulations to the district council. Of course, I'm grateful to have the leadership and support of Alderwoman Pat Dow. Isn't she an incredible human being? I do see my brother from the west side of Chicago, Alderman Jason Irvin, is in the house. And usually, when I say west side, it usually comes with west side. I'm saying, don't start acting different now, y'all. Of course, I see many of my friends here. Alderman Roderick Sawyer, thank you, sir. Y'all can clap for him. He good. He good. Of course, Alderman Harry Osterman is here. Check it out. And of course, I see two individuals that I'm looking forward to serving alongside of Alderman Carlos Rosa and Alderman Greg Mitchell. And then I'm still looking. They just popping up everywhere. Alderman Andre Vasquez is here. And then another brother who is responsible to a great extent for bringing this body together, the new Alderman-elect of the 5th Ward, Desmond Yancey. See, now I gotta look real quick to see. There's like 50 wards, so it could be any number. Did we get them all? We did. Where? Oh, yo, look. Hold on a second. West Side, Congressman Davis is here. I'm sorry. Hey! Did someone say that Byron Chicho Lopez is here? Where is Byron? Where's Byron, though? Because usually you know when Byron's in the room, he makes so much noise. But we go shout him out anyhow, Byron Cincho Lopez. And then, of course, I see our sister from the 23rd Ward, Alderwoman Tabanis. So my comments will be brief, I promise you. Of course, this has been an incredible journey, you all. And we have work to do in the city of Chicago. But being raised by a pastor and a carpenter, my father would always remind me and my siblings, never be afraid to do a little bit of work. My father would always say, son, it's just work. I told my dad, you ain't never ran the city of Chicago before. But what he was ultimately getting at is that when we do it together, that work is a little bit easier. Because there's a certain level of accountability that comes with the work that this body will do. And here's what accountability means to me, Chicago. Now, the press would have you believe that accountability is to catch you doing something that you said you wouldn't do. That's how accountability is described in Chicago. See, I grew up in a house with 9 siblings. Accountability in my home, we looked each other in the eye and we said, what do you need? Because when my father came home, he didn't care whose turn it was to do the dishes. Do I have a witness here? When my mother would come home, she didn't care whose turn it was to have the bathroom clean. They just wanted to make sure that the house was clean. Because if they came home and the house wasn't clean, then everybody gets it, right? And so sometimes, in my household, it doesn't mean that my family members would do the dishes for me, but they would say, do you need us to run the water? Right? Can I get that bucket for you? Because they understood that all of us had a collective responsibility. That's what we're bringing to the city of Chicago. That we are here to ask one another, what do you need? Because when we succeed, everyone in the city of Chicago succeeds. And in closing, I am eagerly anticipating the opportunity to work with these other elected officials. Because they have the expertise and they have the information at a hyper-local level of what the community needs. And when they show up to the meetings, and when they show up in the community, they get to come and look me in the face and say, this is what we need. Now, because I was raised a certain way, I'm going to ask these members the next question. How do we get those needs met together? Because that is the strength of Chicago, you all. And whether you are the corporate CEO, or the child care provider, or the family that drops their children off at that child care provider and works for that CEO, we're all connected, right? Because that child care worker is not only going to need a good wage, but the families that rely upon that child care worker is going to need that CEO to be successful as well, so that they can have a good wage, so that they can actually pay for the child care. Do you understand how we are all connected? What is it that you need, Chicago? And how do we meet those needs together? I can't wait till May 15th. We're going to celebrate, and that evening, the drinks are on me. Thank you, Chicago. Thank you all so much. God bless you. A better Chicago is ahead, you all. Thank you.